Hello, ID. I'm tired and I want to go home.
Am I going to crawl back to Tesla after I ditched it in disappointment and got myself a shiny new Volkswagen ID.4, but ended up having a bad experience after all? Well, if you would have asked me that even 3 months ago, the answer would have been hells no. But things have changed, and the answer now is, well, it's complicated. It all started back in 2012, when I was a little boy, when most people here on social media who now call me a Tesla hater didn't even know how to spell or pronounce Tesla when I was already driving one. That's right, in 2012, more than a decade ago, when I saw a prototype of Tesla in one of their first showrooms in San Jose, California, I had the same moment as most people had when they saw the iPhone for the first time. It was like, oh my god, this is what the future of cars will look like, and I must be one of the first ones to start the revolution. And I did. And at that time, owning an electric car was not a cool thing to do at all. As a matter of fact, most people thought I was stupid, wasting my money on a technology that will never work, made by the guy who was basically halfway into bankruptcy. A lot of people thought this was incredibly stupid. Now, one of those people was actually my coworker at that time when I had a 9-to-5 office job, and he was just brutal with me on how stupid he thought I was. Fast forward a few years later, he was not only a 2-time Tesla owner, a solar Tesla installation and battery owner, he was also working for Tesla himself, making a lot of money. And at that time, I thought, well, let me start a little community for other stupid people like me so we can talk about our stupid cars and drive them to different stupid places and exchange our stupid stories. So I started a Facebook group. Now that Facebook group is now almost 50,000 members, and I've started other electric car owner groups, and altogether I have over 150,000 members at this time. But with time, as I moved from my very first Model S to my second and third one, problems have started to arise, repairs took longer, parts became unavailable, but worst of all, the service went from excellent to just really insultingly bad. And to me, no matter how amazing a product is, if it doesn't come with an amazing service, it's no longer an amazing product. And at that time, I saw the very first signs of Elon Musk, my personal hero at that time, of him kind of going into that cray-cray direction that he has now have definitely arrived at. I remember that moment because it was the first time I was disappointed in him. He personally canceled a reservation, I think it was Model X, of someone who criticized him. And I thought, oh my god, how petty. But at some point, my cars have had too many issues. I've been treated way too poorly at the service centers that I've decided, okay, that's enough. Much like with any relationship, right? There's only so many years you want to be stuck in a bad relationship. At some point, you want a divorce. So I let my last Tesla's lease expire, but I didn't really have any electric vehicle that I wanted to get. At that time, there weren't really any electric vehicles on the market that I was really excited about. However, I did have a commuter car that became my full-time car, and I absolutely loved it. As a matter of fact, it was a plug-in hybrid, but I have never met an owner of the same car that did not love it. I will tell you what it was, what happened next, but before that, a quick reminder that this video is brought to you by Flow. Always reliable, extremely durable. The Flow Home is a level 2 EV charging station designed to make your life easier and is compatible with any EV in North America. Learn more about the Flow Home at flow.com. And NeoCharge, you can charge 2 cars at the same time without spending a ton of money on rewiring your home. All you need is the smart splitter from NeoCharge. Get one today and use the discount code in the description of this video. The car that I fell in love with was the Chevy Volt. It was a plug-in hybrid with 50 miles of electric range. I rarely had to actually put any gas in it. Unfortunately, it got discontinued, but I absolutely loved it. It was very cheap. It was like $199 a month. The service was great. It never broke down. And to those people who say, well, Alex, you didn't like Tesla, you don't like Volkswagen, you just cannot be pleased. Oh yes, I can. With a Chevy Volt. But after a year or so, some actually decent electric cars started to come on the market. Ford Mustang Mach-E, Audi e-tron, the Volkswagen ID.4, and I started checking them all out. And when I saw the Volkswagen ID.4 for the first time, as a matter of fact, you're looking at the footage where I actually did see it for the first time, I just fell in love. It was beautiful, it had a really good range, the price was very affordable, it came with 3 years of unlimited fast charging from Electrify America, and there were plenty of service centers all over the place. So I was one of the very first people in America to get it. It was the first edition with the beautiful snow white steering wheel, the play, pause pedals, which I absolutely love. And Volkswagen ended up sponsoring my channel, and I really like that because when I promote something on my channel, I usually try to become a customer. So that was a perfect fit. Remember when Bosley sponsored my channel? Hair transplants. That's right. Looks kind of good. I'm digging it. And I loved it for the first almost a year. But with time, problems started to arise, just like with Tesla, and I knew I was one of the first adopters, so, you know, I was a little more patient than I otherwise would, but these problems started to really get to me, and they were all software problems. And I tried talking to Volkswagen as a customer, I tried talking to them as a journalist, I even staged a little protest at their display at the CES this year. Nothing helped, and it looked like it wasn't just me, because one of the Facebook groups that I run is for the Volkswagen ID.4 owners, and quite a few of them admitted to having exactly the same problems and feeling abandoned by Volkswagen. So closer to the end of the last year, I've decided, okay, I'm going to terminate the lease early and get another electric vehicle, but at the same time, I also started thinking about leaving the United States and go and live in a different country. So I was like, oh, I don't think I want to commit to another 3-year lease if I'm going to leave soon. Now, I ended up just leaving California, and I made a video about that if you're curious about why, and just travel around the US and see if I would find a new home here in the United States, and I did end up here in Houston, Texas. Now, while traveling in the United States, the damn thing broke down, and I mean broke down. Like, I locked the door after leaving my Airbnb and it would not start. And that happened twice. And mind you, I was really stuck in the middle of the United States without a home and without a car. And twice, the reason for that was the damn software. And after it happened for the second time, and I actually got stuck without a car during the Christmas week here in Texas, they finally performed the over-the-air update that was not at all over-the-air. I had to, basically had it towed to the dealership. They've promised this to us for a long time, and finally they got it done. Now, the car became operational again, but pretty much none of my problems gotten fixed. As a matter of fact, it added more problems. For example, they've added this useless screen to pick a user, even though I'm the only user, so every time you have to click on the OK button, but a lot of times it would also freeze, so you would have to completely restart the entire interface. But by the end of May, I have decided that I am moving out of the United States, and I will do a live stream about it. By the time this video comes out, it would probably be already in my video library. So I finally sold the damn thing back to the dealership. So what's next for me? Now, there are a few things that I need to think about, because I am moving to Bangkok, Thailand, and out of all cities in the world that can definitely use less pollution, it would be Bangkok. As a matter of fact, it would be kind of cool to go back in time and be in a place where electric cars are only now starting to pop up and people are literally just learning about what they are and seeing them for the very first time. Now, one of the very few options of electric cars that are becoming available in Thailand is Tesla. Now, if I was staying here in the United States, there was no way I would go back to Tesla. You never want to go back to your ex. But in Thailand, it could be very different, because my major two issues with Tesla were customer service and the build quality. Well, guess what? Customer service is very different in different cultures. And if anything, and one of the biggest reasons I'm heading to Thailand, it is literally called the land of smiles. People in Thailand are happy, and so is customer service. And don't forget, the cars that I had and I'm used to in California were all made in what is considered to be one of the worst automotive factories in the world, in Fremont, California. The cars that are coming to Thailand are made in a much, much better factory, which is in Shanghai, China. Now, obviously, I want to live there for a little bit before I decide to stay there permanently, and thus buying a car right away probably wouldn't make sense. But I would probably not be against using a green taxi service, for example, that utilizes Teslas. That actually would make a lot of sense for me. Now, a lot of people are asking me, but Alex, what if you were staying in the United States? What electric car would you buy? Would you go back to Tesla? Like I said, no. I would not go back to Tesla. Obviously, I would not stay with Volkswagen. I don't mind revisiting both of them in a few years when things are different, but for now, no way. The scars need to heal first. Now, here's what I'm thinking. If I was staying, depending on what budget I would let myself have for my new electric car. If I would to stay with just a regular average budget, just like, I had for my ID.4, maybe a little bit more, I would definitely go with the Genesis GV60. Let me tell you why. The Genesis GV60 is essentially the same car as the Ioniq 5 by Hyundai or the EV6 by Kia. They're all essentially the same car made by the same automaker. The same great range, over 300 miles, one of the fastest charging speeds in the entire industry, and a lot of other really cool perks. However, the Genesis is the luxury version of those two, so you get all of this amazing electric vehicle features with a bit of a luxury, and I love the way it looks outside. But if I was to go all bougie and spend a pretty penny, just like I did with the Model S 10 years ago, I would definitely go with the Mercedes EQS. Now, I know it's a little fugly outside, especially when we've all seen and I've even driven the original concept. But I absolutely love the luxury on the inside with the in-seat massager. The seats feel so amazing. The humongous screen, which of course comes from my original love of Byton, if you remember them. May they rest in peace. And of course, the augmented reality head-up display. Guys, oh my god, if you ever get to experience it, you will see, like, this is literally what the future looks like. But I never suggest an electric car for someone else. A lot of people ask me, Alex, what electric car should I get? And listen, I don't know. Just like if you were to ask me which girl I should marry, well, I don't know. Do you like fat girls, skinny girls, tall girls, short girls, black girls, white girls? It really is up to you. And much like with women, a lot of times, up to your budget. As a matter of fact, I put a list of over 30 electric vehicles that are coming out this year alone in 2023. So check them all out and pick one that serves your needs. Looking forward to all of your comments. Other than that, see you guys next time, and remember to stay charged.